So welcome to my channel Rekha Datta English Classes. As you know that in this channel I teach grammar and spoken English. So today I have come with new thing. Here you would learn how to add vocabulary words in your conversation. Because vocabulary words, idiom, phrases are very important for you to know when you are speaking or conversing with somebody. Right vocabulary words will give you not only a kind of confidence, but also, it is going to give you a lot of understanding of the language also. So that's why when you are using right vocabulary words, it really gives you a lot of confidence. But the problem comes, we are in the habit of learning lots of vocabulary words and to memorize those words without context. What we are doing that, whenever we come across some vocabulary words, what we do, we try to write it down somewhere, we try to note it down somewhere. We might have a diary where we are noting down every vocabulary words, okay? And we try to know the meaning, we try to know the usage of that particular word. But this is not the right way to do it, because I also used to do it. Initially, I used to learn a lot of, tons of vocabulary words, and I try to memorize it. I used to memorize it. But so it did not help me a lot whenever I try to recall those vocabulary words at that particular moment when I should have poured it out and try to use in my conversation. It would not happen, it would not come to my mind, and I would go blank, So the right way of learning vocabulary words and phrases and idioms are, don't try to learn it at randomly. If you want to learn vocabulary word, try to grasp it in another way, and that is an effective way of learning vocabulary words. You can do one thing, that first try to know the context of that particular word which has been spoken. Okay? If you know the context, that in which context the word is spoken of, then it will be okay for you to understand the situation and you can connect the word with that particular situation. And if you try to remember the word with the real situation, it remain intact in your mind. It remain etched up in your mind forever. So the right way to learn a vocabulary word is to know it with its right context and right pronunciation, meaning and usage too. So if you're not learning the words with the right context, it means that you are cramming up the words, you are filling up your mind with lots of words, but those words are not connecting with any situation. So when the words are not connecting with any situation, it remains blanks there. It remains blank, and whenever you need to bring it back to your memory, you are not able to do it because you are not connecting it with any situation. It remains there, in a blank way. And when you are not remembering or memorizing the words with the right connection, it is very difficult for you to remember that particular word which you have learned. Okay, so I'm just telling you, I'm giving you an example. Suppose you wanna learn some particular words, okay, and you are watching, maybe you are reading a paragraph, maybe you are watching some speeches or podcast, and after watching and after reading a paragraph, suddenly you come across with a word which is not known to you. So what would you do? That you would pause the video, and after pausing the video, you go back to Google and then you find the answer, okay? After finding the answer, try to write the word in a right context, okay? So suppose the word is obsessed, and the speaker is saying, when I was a child, I was very obsessed with this language. I mean, he's speaking about English language, okay? So what is your work now? First, you try to find the meaning in the Google, and there you find the meaning. The meaning of obsessed, it means preoccupied. Now you get to know the meaning. Okay, obsessed means preoccupied. And after knowing the meaning, you can use this particular word in another context too. So the speaker is saying, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with this language. And now you can use in your own language. So you can say, when I was a child, I was very obsessed with Arijit Singh's song. When I was a kid, I was very much obsessed with my look. When I was a kid, I was very much obsessed with that, some particular hero or heroine. So obsessed means, when your mind is filled up with something, and when your mind is preoccupied with something, that you have a deep desire for that thing, and the love for that particular thing. Now you understood the meaning of this word obsessed. Okay, now what is your next step? Now, after knowing the words and using it in different contexts, in different sentence, it becomes very clear to you that, okay, obsessed means this is the right meaning, and I can use it in this context. Then try to find the synonym of this word. Do you understand the meaning of synonym? Synonym means, same meaning. Now you're going to get to know the synonym or the same meaning. So what would you do? You will try to find the meaning of this particular word, the synonym. Now same meaning you want to find out. So what would you do? You take a diary and you would note down. And the synonym words of this particular word obsessed is engrossed, absorbed, fascinated, devoted, attached, preoccupied. So you get to know these words. 4 to 5 words. It is very clear that the meaning of obsessed is these 5 words which I have learned. And now in this way you will be able to understand the real meaning of this particular word obsessed. So when you know the meaning and when you know the synonym, and now try to make sentences from these synonym too. I was fascinated with this beautiful girl when I saw her. I was very attached to my childhood friends. Or, I was preoccupied with this thought that I would learn English. And then, second, that is, absorbed. I was totally absorbed with this thought of learning and speaking in English. So you find that, these words are very close to the meaning of the word obsessed. And it will remain in your mind forever now. Okay, so now what happens that it's not essential that every time you learn some words and it remains fixed in your mind. And so what would you do? What would be your next step? The next step would be to memorize it quite a couple of times. Try to bring it back to your memory now and then, again and again. You can do it. Remember that if you're not learning the words with the right context, you are going to lose the connectivity. Sometimes it happens that when you are sitting in a group, maybe 2 or 3 friends or among the strangers, or somebody says something which is not known to you. You do not know the right context. So what would you do? And you're very curious to know the words. You stumble upon some words, which are not known to you. Even you are not knowing the right context. So what would you do? So let me tell you what happened, when I was sitting in a group of some unknown people. Maybe I had gone to attend something, and there I come across with a word, and the word was call it a day. And what I did, that immediately I sent the phrase to my son. I took out my phone and sent it on WhatsApp to my son, call it a day. And then and there it was not possible for me to see the meaning of that particular word, so I came back from there and I tried to find out the meaning, and the meaning was and I try to find the context also. There I find that, you know, when you are doing something and you don't want to do it anymore, you want to give it a kind of call it a day. So when you are saying let's call it day, it means that you really want to stop then and there only, and you want to come out from that monotonous thing which you have been doing. Okay, so this is the right way to learn the vocabulary words. And whenever you are coming across with some words, when you get some words, try to find the meaning, and if you are not able to find the meaning, send it through the WhatsApp or in any medium to your near and dear one, and later on you can see the particular words with the right context. Okay, so here another thing I want to say, that sometimes people say, when you watch some video, they say try to note down words from newspaper, try to find the words from some magazine, and there you will come across lots of words, and try to get to know the meaning, try to get into those words, and try to find the right context and learn words from there. So here I want to tell you one more thing, guys, that people say, you know, sometime when you watch some YouTube video, there people suggest you to find words and phrases from newspaper or from magazine. Let me tell you one thing, guys, that if you are willing to speak good English, don't try to take your words and phrases from newspaper, because you know they are very, very formal. And you want to speak good English, you want to speak conversational English and colloquial English, that you cannot find in any newspaper. Don't try to take the words, don't try to pick up the words from any newspaper, because it will sound very, very formal, and it will not apply in spoken English, and it will look very ridiculous, you know, when you are doing it. So instead, try to pick up the words from daily conversation. Okay, suppose, you know, there is a word called heaps of or tons of. This is informal English which is used in spoken English, and instead of using heaps of, tons of, you can use a large quantity of. So when you are using a large quantity of, this particular phrase is used in informal English. So there are some words you have to identify which one is used in formal English and which is going to be used in spoken English. Let's take another word. That word is called ostentatious. Okay, so ostentatious means showing off your wealth and your power, etc. So if I make a sentence out of this word ostentatious, so I would say her attire was, attire means dress. Here I am using totally formal English. Her attire was ostentatious with gleaming jewelry and shining embroidered clothes, something like this. Okay, so here when you are using these, you know, the whole sentence, so when you are using the whole sentence, her attire was so ostentatious with gleaming jewelry and shining embroidered dress, so you find that, you know, it becomes difficult for you to speak in this way. So instead of using ostentatious, you can use the word flashy, you can use the word gaudy, you can use the word extravagant, showy. So when you are using, instead of ostentatious, showy, so instead of ostentatious, when you are using showy, flashy, gaudy, and another word extravagant, it looks really, you know, that you are using in a spoken English and very, very colloquial words. You are not taking the formal words from the newspaper and magazine, which really makes your language very, very arduous and difficult. So if you want to give a lot of emphasis on learning spoken English, don't try to pick up words from newspaper and magazine. Always try to pick up words from real life conversation, and then your spoken English is going to be very, very impressive. So the words and phrases you are learning, try to bring it back again and again in your memory, and try to do it consciously, reinforcing it again and again, so that it becomes a part of your mind and it remains there forever, so you will not have to face any problem while recalling back those words and to use it in your conversation. So thank you so much for watching my video. I would be one thing I really want to tell you guys, if you like my video, if you watch my video and find it useful, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much.